These are the Flagship Nothing Ear 3, and they've been our daily driver for around about a few months now for everything to do with video editing and just listening to stuff on our MacBook. But you get really good design here. Classic Nothing transparent stems and classic Nothing look and feel, and it cost around about £149. However, these Nothing Ear 3A offer the exact same functions, have more upside, and they cost a lot less. So the question is, which of these two are worth buying? When you compare the first gen Nothing Ear A, these are the Playdate edition, these have probably been one of the best investments you've made because you got really good sound profile, really good sound signature, and for the first gen they were great. But when you put them side by side, the Ear 3A, there are some big changes. Firstly, for example, the Ear 3A are lighter and more powerful, and the case does feel just that tiny bit slimmer and more compact. The other thing is, in terms of the internal light, you get a tiny little LED light here. First gen. On the 3A, you actually get an actual sort of battery indicator to give you a better understanding of how much battery life you actually have. And then the other thing is, in terms of the case and the buds, IP54 rated on the Ear 3A. On the first gen, it was just the buds that were IP54 rated. So that is a decent enough upgrade in terms of protection against the weather elements. In terms of the sound signature, let's quickly touch on that. The Ear 3A are very biased in terms of bass versus the Flagship Nothing Ear 3. In fact, what we've done, we've played a bit of music, set up the mics, and here's a quick listen, an example of both playing back the same song for the same length. Let us know in the comment section your thoughts, which sounds better. On a more personal level, I found the quality and the sound output of the Ear 3As to be very, very good. Very biased on bass and low end, which is my preference. Overall, very, very good. Sound is crisp, and connection to things like Bluetooth devices has been flawless. In fact, even multi-connection, so connected to the MacBook and the daily driver phone, has been great. No real issue. There is a tiny, say 2 to 3 second lag switching, but other than that, it works very, very well. Now, in terms of the ANC, the claim is over 81% of ANC is covered, but I found that these are nowhere near the best for things like blocking out background noise when it comes to active noise cancellation. In fact, personally, I found it to be okay at best. Nothing as good as the Ear 3As or the Samsung Buds 3 Pros that we use daily. Personally, didn't mind that. But for those who want a more blocked out sound, you're probably not going to want to get the Ear 3As. Then the call quality, it's generally very, very good. To be fair, crisp, clear. In fact, here's a quick audio sample on the streets of Cardiff. Listen to a bit of audio of me talking with the buds in, connected to an Oppo Find X9 Ultra. So this is what the audio sounds like on the Nothing Ear 3A. Windy. A quick touch on the app. Nothing X app, genuinely legit, the best app for any customization options on here, and it exists fully. So you can do this in a number of ways. You can customize your own EQ, pick a standardized one, or you can choose one from the Nothing community as well, which is pretty cool. And the app works very, very well. Fast, smooth, super functional, and it will show multiple devices like we have here. We have multiple devices connected. It will show you all those devices on the same app. Now let's talk functions. Now I have the earbuds in and they're locked in. They're not going anywhere. And there's two functions on here. One which is genuinely useful, one which is super controversial. The useful one, if you double pinch your earbuds as such when you're on a call, it will actually record that call for you automatically, and it doesn't just save on your phone. It will actually transcribe back onto the Nothing X app and keep a record of that call. Now this is super, super functional, are great, especially if you're on one of those annoying calls where you're changing your data plan and you want proof that you called and who you spoke to, or you're registering a complaint, or anything that involves a phone call that has some significance that you want to refer back to. It's functional and great for that, and works very, very well, including capturing all the different people who speak, which is excellent. The controversial aspect is if you're a Spotify or Apple Music user or any of that kind, you can actually do the exact same action, double hold both tips of stems, of the Ear 3As, and will actually record a 60-second clip of whatever you're listening to, which probably breaches all the DRM and legal components of music out there and rights management, but it does work. No idea who this is for, but it does work. I think the only use case that I can think of that works really well was if you listen to the radio and you wanted to capture an audio component of a song playing or someone talking, then it would make a lot of sense just to refer back to then download and access that if you couldn't do it right away. But let us know in the comment section your thoughts on those two functions. So the question we posed at the start of this video was, should you buy the Flagship Nothing Ear 3s over the Ear 3As? In a word, no, because what you gain with the Ear 3 over the Ear 3A is very, very minimal. The only significant thing that I would say is the ANC is slightly better in the Ear 3, and you get wireless charging support, and that's pretty much it. Look and feel wise, I actually prefer the look, especially in this hot pink, of the Nothing Ear 3A versus the standard black or white options on the Nothing Ear 3. And in terms of battery life, there's essentially no difference at all. Compatibility is all the same. So you're saving around about £50, and personally think you're getting, give or take, 80 to 90% of what you get on the Ear 3. But let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on the Nothing Ear 3 and 3A. Which one would you buy? And if you do buy the 3A, get the pink one because it just looks so cool and so different. Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching again. Until the next one, as always, we out.